Good morning and welcome everybody. Happy Friday and welcome back to day 20 of Choice Theory. Can you believe that we're 20 days together learning? I can't either. I'm running a very pleasurable signal with that information. 20 days learning choice theory, and look at the amount that you're after covering. And not only are you learning it on here, we are hearing just the most incredible stories back about the work that you're doing, the way you're applying the language of choice, that you're saying you're responsible for your life, you're making good choices. It's just brilliant to hear. I'm blown away at what you've learned. So today you know that I'm going to do a recap like I do every Friday, but I'm going to do a quick recap over the 4 weeks. You ready? External control, internal motivation. External evaluation, self-evaluation. And we all now have very internally motivated, self-evaluatory young people. And I just think that is absolutely brilliant. You know, do you remember I said to you, if I would have learned this when I was your age, I think my life would have been an awful lot easier for me. So hats off, really proud of you. Then our quality world pictures and perception, basic needs, our 5 basic needs. And then this week we did total behaviour. And total behaviour is a big one. When it came to earlier in the week, I really wasn't sure how we would break this down and teach it to you guys. But I shouldn't have worried, because you guys, no matter what we're teaching, you take it on, no problem at all. So earlier on in the week, Kim brought the behavioural map, the doing, the thinking, the feeling and the physiology. So do you remember how we spoke about people talk about, oh, I feel sad. And why are you sad? Oh, I don't know, I'm just sad. And then we discovered, actually, we can't be just sad. We are sad because of something we're doing or something we're thinking. So if we want to change the feeling, we need to change the doing and the thinking. The feeling changes and then the physiology will change as well. And just like our little furry friend here, the doing and the thinking are the front wheels of the car, and the feeling and the physiology are the back wheels of the car. So where the 2 front wheels go, the back 2 follow. So the doing and the thinking drive our feelings. So when somebody says to us in future, I feel sad and there's nothing I can do about it, because we're choice theory people, we know actually there is something you can do. You can change your feeling, and you change the feeling by changing what you are doing or what you are thinking. So that's our total behaviour. And then Una moved on to the reorganisation. Do you remember that part? The big bubbling pot of ideas under the surface that are always giving us ideas. And she spoke about creativity, and I love that. I love the creative part of our brain, where we're constantly coming up with new ideas. Most times we don't realise how creative we are until we're faced with a frustration. But that bubbling pot of ideas is going on all of the time, just like when you began to ride the bicycle. Do you remember that? Or a bit wobbly, and then you got a way of balancing yourself better. Then you got so confident you were able to go with one hand, which we don't do because we keep our hands on the handlebars, don't we? Mommy and Daddy, we keep our hands on the handlebars. Isn't that right, kids? Keep your hands on the handlebars, it's safe. So the reorganisation, we're constantly reorganising. And I love that part, because when I learned that about total behaviour, what I discovered was, I said, no matter what happens to me in my life, I'm able to solve that. I'm going to come up with creative ideas to meet my 5 basic needs. Exactly. Because everything, we behave in order to meet our 5 basic needs. So then Catherine spoke about the comparing place. Do you remember that? And we all do this. We take messages in from the outside and we begin to compare them. So do you remember this? Mum and Dad, have you turned the immersion off? A little bit like that. Frustration is completely normal. It's just like the immersion. When it gets too hot, when we get too frustrated, the immersion is going to start to regulate itself again. And the brain is the same. When we get frustrated, the brain is going to start to regulate itself again. And how we do that is through our behaviours. So today what we're going to look at, so wonderful, the women did a wonderful job last week. But what we're going to look at today, because I just want to introduce you to this because I think it's wonderful. See out here, these two circles? This is our sensory system. So see these 5 little bars? There are 5 senses. And you know where our 5 senses are? Our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, and our touch. So what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we feel. So the world can only give us information. Every minute of the day, the world is giving us information. Some of that information is new information, and some of the information we already knew. And the information that we already knew, we store out here. See, in our sensory system, see the green circle? And we bring the information down through, this is our total knowledge filter. And our total knowledge filter means that that's everything I know right now. And this is why we're always expanding the total knowledge filter. We're always adding information. Say, for example, if I showed you this and I said to you, what's this? Yep, could be a blackboard. Could be a table mat, couldn't it? We could put a plate on it, put it on the table to have our dinner. So, have you ever seen one before? I said, maybe not exactly like that. So there might be some information in your total knowledge filter. It's giving you some information about what I'm holding out in front of me. Yeah? So what if I showed you this? And you realise this is a keyboard for my iPad. Exactly. So now, when I show you this again, do you see a blackboard? Do you see a table mat? Or do you also see a keypad for an iPad? A keyboard for an iPad? And this is how our sensory system works. So your total knowledge filter now has just expanded. That information comes down into your valuing filter. And that means you value whether that's important to you or not. So I might say to you now, do you want it? I go, no thanks. You might run a neutral signal with it. Your keyboard might be broken, so it might be, yes please. You might have 10 of them. You might go, oh, would you go away with that? Not another one of them, Norah. So we're constantly evaluating. We're constantly adding more information into through our sensory system into our brain. So our senses are here. See here? It brings the information into our total knowledge filter. Then we bring it down into our valuing filter. We bring it into our perceived world, and it's in there that we perceive whether it's pleasurable, neutral, or frustration. Then we bring that up and into our, I got this upside down, no, into our comparing place, and we decide whether we're frustrated or we're not, and as a result, we move into our behavioural system. And here we go on the loop. And that loop is constantly going, just like that bubbling pot of ideas is. So I'm going to invite you just for a minute to close your eyes. I want you to use one of your senses to tell me what this is that I'm going to bring to you. So just close your eyes. See people? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay. get ready to listen and you tell me, what's this? So open your eyes. What is it? Okay, close your eyes again. Sit up, that's it. Sit up, that's it. So what was it? Exactly. How did you get that information? Through your sense of hearing. Now, let's say somebody were to give me these and they said, Norah, you can have one of these. Close your eyes. So I close my eyes and I say, what are they? And they say, you got to work it out yourself what they are, Norah. So I go, okay, hold on. Okay, there's a flat disc. And there's funny things. What's that on top of it? There's little pieces. Let's see, let's see. Oh, it smells like chocolate. Oh, and I think that's fruit and nuts. Yep. So, what senses did I use to determine that information for me? My taste, my smell, my touch. So when our eyes are closed, we lose a lot of sense, don't we? But we still have our ears and our nose and our mouth and our touch. What else have we got? Yeah. So this says, Norah, what's this? Is it a big marker? No, it's the pump. It's that pump. Exactly. So where is that information stored? In my total knowledge filter. It's everything I know. And when I take that information in and I discover what it is, do I recognize it through my senses because it's familiar in my total knowledge filter, or is it something I've never seen before? But regardless of which, I will perceive whether that is pleasurable or frustrating for me, and that's my choice. My perception is my perception, and your perception is yours. And if we all lived in the world accepting that people's perception, they have a right to their perception, wouldn't the world be an awful nicer place? So when Catherine spoke about that comparing place, and that's what happens. We take in information and we begin to compare that information, looking at what other people have or they haven't got, or how they behave or they don't behave. And the truth is, the only perception that really matters is yours. So today, what I'm going to invite you to do, what if you go around your house and find different little objects, and with your family members, get them to close their eyes and use their senses to see what it is that they're holding and have a little bit of fun. What if you tried to find things that they didn't know what they were, and see if they can work it out? And if they can work it out, then that becomes more knowledge for them in their total knowledge filter. So we're always growing, we're always learning, and isn't that wonderful? And we're constantly putting new pictures into our quality world. Those pictures help satisfy our needs, and we behave to meet our needs in this world. So I think you've done an incredible job with choice theory this week, and I hope you have a fantastic Friday. And I'm going to be back on here later, and you can draw pictures, you can send me a little photograph of your objects, but tell me how your exercise went today using your senses, and which of your senses is your favourite sense. So have a great time with it today. Have a great time with your family. I'll see you back on here later in the evening, and have a lovely day. See you later.